It was just supposed to be a routine job. And I found myself amongst unlikely folk. Humans. The rest of me kin called me soft. But the money was good. And we were good at it. Then the boss brings down this new job. Dead dwarves. So I rouse up me boys, and we find ourselves on a journey we weren't expecting.
Hargus is a noble dwarf from Clan Hammerheart with radical ideas. His concept that dwarves can not only befriend non-dwarves, but that they might work together in harmony is snubbed by most other dwarves. Skizik is a human who carries a two-handed sword and unleashes curses upon his enemies, which are granted to him by the dark and mysterious one, Mother. Wirebone, a gnomish artificer, is always looking for new ideas and creating new machines. He is perhaps the most famous inventor in VulkMinar. Morthos, another human and beneficiary of the Dark Mother, is seeking his place among the dwarves of VulkMinar. Comfort and prestige are his primary motivations. Ubelek Hammerheart, older cousin of Hargus, has a checkered past. He has been in trouble with the law more times than anyone dare count. However, Ubelek is immensely resourceful and has gained valuable ties with the ruling elite, Clan Ironbrow. Sivankov is the seven-headed dragon god of chaos, fire, undeath, and mischief. Each head represents a different vision of chaos. Orastix is a half-dwarven cleric who is a rapidly growing influence in the temple dedicated to Sivankov. She has gained the favor of Anilaram, the warrior queen and wife to the dominant head, Pithapin. Shadowrakul are intelligent, shape-shifting hounds from the Shadowfell. In their humanoid form, they resemble extremely robust, barrel-chested dwarves, tall as a human but just as wide. Last time, the heroes of Hintrespalt fought against the fire-infused Soul Guardians in Vernione and then traveled toward Nogris. Approaching, they heard the unmistakable sounds of battle. Ubelek scouted ahead and took an opportunistic shot at a lava-barch soldier who was attacking an elven bystander in the street. Meanwhile, Morthos took a stand next to a half-dwarven cleric defending the fire temple against a dwarven onslaught. Shadowrakul, fighting alongside lava-barch soldiers, lay siege to the fire temple of Nogris. There are innocent bystanders, elves, humans, and Darrow being cut down in the streets. It appears that this unlikely alliance is engaging in the same sort of tactics that had been employed in Vernione. No survivors. Now the rest of the party moves in to join the battle. Skizik and Hargus immediately draw the attention of several Shadowrakul, all bearing the finely crafted weapons of VulkMinar. They attack from all sides, but the well-armed companions defend stubbornly. Ubelek climbs to the top of a nearby structure to gain an advantage with his bolt thrower, Angel, while Wirebone slides off to the opposite side of the street to try and make sense of all this chaos. The great inventor finds a suitable place to hide atop a small cluster of stone formations and dwellings while his enemies weaken one another. He takes opportunistic shots at the dominating dwarven aggressors when able. Feeling the pressure as more than half a dozen attack the front entrance of the temple, Morthos and the half-dwarven cleric stand back to back, ice and fire streaming respectively from their hands in defense. Enemy bodies pile up at the bottom of the stairs on which they stand. Hargus, mostly interested in the primary assault at the temple, begins marching forward stoically, hacking down any unfortunate adversary venturing too near. He offers up a prayer to Kriegspiel under his breath as his heavy battle axe splits the skull of a lava-barch dwarf. A Shadowrakul warrior climbs the wall of the building which Ubelek is stationed and attacks the rogue from behind. Ubelek, not wanting to go toe-to-toe with this extraplanar being, attempts to jump across a narrow alleyway to an adjacent building. His foe strikes out just as Ubelek turns to make his getaway and lands a grisly blow with VulkMinar steel. The unfortunate Hammerheart plummets to the unyielding stone cavern floor below. Combat veteran Skizik lands blow after mighty blow, laying low several Shatterakul when his nimble ally crashes hard at his side. Ubelek springs to his feet to fight alongside his Hexblade companion, but they become surrounded by their enemies. Their indomitable leader, Hargis, whispers up a prayer to Aronhammer while delivering a powerful blow to another of their outsider foes. Each Shatterakul that falls dissipates into shadows within seconds, and the cleric continues his march toward the cultic church, his prayers growing in volume. Wirebone watches as a group of dwarves converge against two bystanders and a fire cultist. An elven refugee and a human bystander both fall under the onslaught. Wirebone plugs the attackers with bolt after bolt, eventually dropping one of the dwarves. The cultist lets loose meteoric blasts in a desperate effort to defend herself. Screams from the temple ring dishearteningly through the caverns of Nogris. The aggressors have breached the flanks of the fire cleric defense. Still, Hargis continues his march with another prayer, this one to Farenzwar, the true mother of fire. Frantically, Skizik and Ubelek fight, but with another lava-barch soldier coming in from behind, the rogue feels the bite of another axe in his back. As he falls, the last thing Ubelek sees is the red beard of his assailant before everything goes dark and the sounds of battle evaporate into waning echoes. Several dwarves emerge from the temple, pinching Morthos and the fire cultist between two lines of foes. Morthos casts Dimension Door, imploring his new battle partner to take his hand so that he may transfer them to a safer location. She declines and lets loose a fireball against the already weary enemies the two had been battling. 3 more fall beneath her blast. Skizik, having slain the rest of his enemies, at least the ones brave enough to face him, sees the battle beginning to fall apart for the heroes. There are just too many. He reaches into a small bag at his side and pulls out a blue tear-shaped stone and begins to call upon its power. Skizik's hand traces the outline of a door and a blue shimmering light gives way to a dark entrance. He calls for his companion's retreat. Hearing the cries of his allies from behind, Hargis turns around to see his fallen cousin face down on the stone. Ubelek needs him now. Hargis Hammerheart's final prayer is to Blitzaxe. The healing power of the smith flows through the loyal devotee and into his dying cousin. When Ubelek's eyes open, he sees the chaos of the battle raging around him. Skizik's voice rings out above the din of battle.
Come on, let's get out of here!
Ubelek sees Morthos leading the dwarven fire cleric into a shimmering portal next to Skizik and runs that way. Moments later, the sounds of battle cease abruptly when Skizik waves his hand over the shimmering doorway, causing its existence to cease. The heroes of Hintrespalt find themselves in a rather large, windowless cottage, complete with 8 bunk beds, plenty of furs and blankets, as well as a comfortable hearth fire. 2 clerics have joined them in their retreat. Wirebone recognizes the half-dwarf immediately now that he is close enough to see her face. Erastix. The last time our heroes were in Nogris, she had commanded her Arachnan goons to attack, forcing them out of the settlement. Severely injured, the fire priestess now sits in a pocket dimension, side by side with the very same party.
Hi, I'm Jake, and I play Ubelek. Thank you for listening to this episode of Heroes of Hintrespalt. You should check out our friends over at Abstract Adventures, where everything is made up and the dice are all that matters. You can find Abstract Adventures on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to podcasts.